I would like to begin by saying how happy I am, how pleased I am that my dear friend Abul is here as the chief guest. He and I, we have been friends since, I think, 1961. If you can think that long, when we went to class, St. Joseph's School in class 4. And so, dear students, dear colleagues, our Vice Chancellor is here, and my panelists here. When Shamshad comes up with these things, I keep thinking, how does he manage it? How does he cook up these schemes? And first it was Dylan, then it was the Six Senses, and now it is this. I was wondering, is it because this is the time of mankind, or humankind, I shouldn't say mankind anymore, when we are so concerned about the environment? Is it because we are so concerned about animals that we have this panel on animals? I looked up I did some Googling as preparation. I didn't write a speech like the others have. I just Googled and put some things here, and I found out that this is, well, according to the Chinese zodiac, when all the animals are listed, rat, ox, tiger, rabbit, etc., that 2019 is the year of the pig. And of course, pig is haram here. So that's why we are not going to deal with the pig at all. 2020 will be the year of the rat. You don't want to deal with that either. 2018 was the year of the dog. And I think Sarwar has dealt with this today. And every dog has his day. And Sarwar, of course, has proved that is true. I mean, I keep thinking about where does Shamshad come up with this? His first question, if you've seen the brochure, is what is your spirit animal? Now, what's your answer? My answer is the Royal Bengal tiger. Wow! Even though we're losing cricket matches lately, but still, I always have thought about the Royal Bengal tiger. What animal are you? I'd rather not be an animal. I think the animal-like things, as Sarwar also pointed out, it is very moving tribute, or to the dog, comes out and is coming out. Sarwar also mentioned that all the time. From birth to death, what animal guides you? I don't know, the spirit of my parents? Perhaps, perhaps that. What animal guides Kaiser? I'm not too sure. And yes, am I have no idea. And Shamshad has this other question, what do you expect Fakrul to become? Air, I hope. We have had these presentations, and Sohana, very dear student, can't see her as a duck. Honestly. Not as an ugly duckling. She doesn't walk like a duck. And as far as I can see. And duck reminds me of Bangladeshi batsmen all the time. Zero in cricket. The best I can think of as far as the duck is concerned is the geese. Because in my favorite American novel, well, one of my favorite American novels, Catcher in the Rye, the geese, the birds in flight, that attracts me again and again and again. But other than that, Shyla. I looked up bear and we had this very moving autobiographical kind of account of her food habits and so on. But I thought she might talk about bear hugging. She didn't. I mean, bear hugging, I looked it up just to make sure that we know what we're talking about, is something to do with hugging very closely in close dancing in 1970. That's how it originated. It moved on and it was used later. Shyla perished the thought. Shamshad, that's why we are all here. He is a trickster. He has all kinds of tricks up his head. And I keep thinking, what trick will he have for us next? Oops.
Don't listen to black magic.
Yeah, exactly like that. But I looked up some of these totemic meanings, I googled, and it certainly agrees with Shamshad in a number of ways. The coyote is a symbol of effortless adaptability. And the mind is always working, and it's always coping with its environment. Server, you heard, and this is again from Googling and getting the totemic qualities, I think it became, this was apt. What are dogs like? Gentle and kind. And what are they like? Loyal. What do they like? Loyalty and truthfulness. I think today's account made it amply clear. Asfar talked about cats. He talked a lot of poets talked about cats. He even talked about T.S. Eliot, one of my great favorite poets of all time. But he didn't really talk about a number of, I wish he had talked about at least one poem by T.S. Eliot, which is called The Naming of Cats, which is one of my favorite poems. I should say that his book of Practical Possums is another one. But I came across this, and I leave it to you to judge if Asper is like this at all. I thought after coming here, maybe Salimullah, Professor Salimullah would be more appropriate. I'll leave it to you to judge. The name that no human research can discover, but the cat himself knows and will never confess. When you notice a cat in profound meditation, the reason I tell you is always the same. His mind is engaged in a rapt contemplation. The words, meditation, contemplation, almost rhymes with us for the same. Almost. His mind is engaged in a rapid contemplation of the thought of his name. After this time, it could be Professor Salimullah. But now, this is like Asfar. His ineffable, ineffable, deep and inscrutable singular name. Right. That's the naming of cats. And what about Kaiser? Kaiser and I have one poet in common that we love very much. Not much talked about nowadays, but when I was growing up reading poetry, we used to read him all the time, D.H. Lawrence. And I've just taken some lines from his poem on snake. I mean, Kaiser has been obviously given this because of Mansha Mangol and his translation and so on. Yeah, but here, okay. But must I confess how I liked him? How glad I was he came like a guest in quiet to drink and depart peaceful, pacified. Somehow it reminded me of Kaiser. And I guess Manzoorul is left with the bag. Right? Okay, I'm sorry. But no Royal Bengal tiger. And that is what I thought. But why whales for me? Imagine me as a whale. I guess it has to do with the text I taught for many years. I taught for years and years. And at the moment, some of my Hamlet students here, a line from Hamlet, Polonius humoring the Prince of Denmark, saying, very like a whale. But I really did get stuck with a whale after I had read Melville's novel, fallen in love with it, and the author too. And I ended up writing a dissertation on Melville. I had taken a splendid course in America, in Canada when I went, and this course was titled Melville After Moby Dick. But it was a whale that got me. I think of Kaiser again joking about a colleague, because I taught for 2 years, 3 years in Dhaka University, and then Kaiser and I both also left at one point. And when I left the text Moby Dick, somebody else took it, a dear department professor. And Kaiser said that he had harpooned the whale. He had harpooned Moby Dick, and he wouldn't let go when I come back. But he did, and I guess I harpooned it. I harpooned it for 2 decades. Unfortunately, the syllabus has taken Moby Dick away. Nowadays, students have no time to read 700, 800 pages novels. So we don't have him anymore. But he lives in my imagination. And I'm so thankful to Shamshad that he's allowed me to come back to my favorite animal. But just for yourself if this resembles me. So let me read the whale totem from Google. People with the whale totem have a deeper awareness of the world around them. They also have a profound connection to the cosmic consciousness, not likely. Folks with its spirit animal recognize what they see is not necessarily the reality of what is, and so on. But I loved Moby Dick because among other things, it's an encyclopedia about whaling. And what whales have is this immensity. What whales have is this sense that they are cosmic, to quote from Paradise Lost. That sea beast Leviathan, which God of all his works created aegis that swim in the ocean stream. But of course, I also think of my another favorite poet, Alexander Pope, and if you've read The Rape of the Lock, if you know that Belinda's petticoat, her protection, is made of whale dreams. So whales have all kinds of associations. And one more quotation from the opening pages of Moby Dick, where we have a lot of quotations about whale. Oh, the rare old whale, midst storm and gale, in his ocean home will be a giant in might, where might is right, and king of the boundless sea. But that was in the past. If I Google now, I come across this quotation. The whale is endangered, while the ant continues to do just fine. Another one. The whale without a head is just a whale with no problems, a stress-free whale. So we will come to a different world, but all I hope as I end is students here will get to read Moby Dick, will get to fall in love with the whale, and get to feel the excitement that you have when you read the book. If you've not seen the whale, there she blows, humped like a snow whale, which is Moby Dick. And as Melville says, what do whales teach us, human beings? To enlarge our mind, to subtleize it. And so, I'm thankful to Shamshad, I had a mighty theme, even though this wasn't a mighty lecture. Thank you all very much.